Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment, where the Tennessee Titans are 2-0. We head into week 3 here on Titan Up Thursdays on Sports Fan Entertainment with the Titans. A good opportunity now to go 3-0 as they go up against the Minnesota Vikings. I have concerns about this matchup. This is, to me, and I know the Jaguars are better record-wise. I know the Broncos are better. Are they better? No, they're 0-2 and just as bad record-wise. But I think this is the most talented team we faced yet. And it just feels like it's time for the Vikings to wake up a little bit. But we're going to discuss the Vikings matchup extensively. But first, let's get into the headlines from the week. And we only had a couple headlines from the week when it came to the Tennessee Titans. Number 1, Adoree Jackson might be out for longer than 3 weeks. So he was initially put on the IR, on the injured reserve, where you will most likely be there for 3 weeks, at least 3 weeks. That's the whole rule now. Now we're hearing that it could extend 4, 5, 6 weeks for this Adoree Jackson injury. This is not ideal news for us, okay, as our cornerbacks have been struggling lately, especially in that Jacksonville Jaguars game. They were not having a very good game. And then even the Broncos game, I told you all, do not be fooled because Drew Lock could not hit the deep passes Monday night, right? Because he missed this deep pass and that deep pass, and because Jerry Jeudy had his couple drops, it didn't look like Drew Lock dominated us. It didn't look like the wide receivers dominated us. Okay, Drew Lock definitely did, but it definitely didn't look like the wide receivers didn't. But if you're actually paying attention and actually thinking for a moment, wait a minute. If Drew Lock would have hit that deep pass at the end of the game, we lose that game. If Jerry Jeudy can actually catch in the slot, we lose that game, right? There were plenty of opportunities that we gave up in the passing game, but luckily, Drew Lock couldn't throw and the receivers couldn't catch, right? It worked perfectly against the inexperienced Broncos wide receiver core. It worked decently, but even not well against the Jacksonville Jaguars young wide receiver core. And then this week, we're still facing a young wide receiver core, but it is headed with Adam Thielen. So I don't like this news that Adoree Jackson is out for possibly more than 3 weeks because Christian Fulton, he came down with that interception last week. Fantastic. I'm here for that. Now, it was a tit pass, but I'm still here for that. Chris Jackson, currently rated as one of the worst cornerbacks by Pro Football Focus. I don't think he's been that bad just using my eyes, but he's definitely had some lapses. He definitely has not been good up to this point. That is certain. Our cornerbacks for right now are struggling. Our pass rush stinks, and we're going to get into that later. This is not a combination that you want in Tennessee or anywhere for that matter. So Adoree Jackson, man, we need to rest this guy up. We need to get him healthy because you're seeing how much we miss him and how much we also miss Logan Ryan right now. Because Logan Ryan, we knew what we were going to get. He gave us consistent production. Some of you argued last season, Pro Bowl production. I don't think he was a Pro Bowler last season. That's what a lot of you people argued. Fine, he gave Pro Bowl statistics. I don't know about play, but he was good. We don't have a good cornerback right now. Not one. Jonathan Joseph apparently has been grading out well. I don't know why. We don't have a good cornerback right now in Tennessee. So until we do, I'm concerned. Now, how about this? Isaiah Wilson is still on the COVID list. This doesn't make sense to me. Now, he was placed on the COVID list September 6th of 2020 as I put on my detective cap. The rule, as far as I know, this is what I read it just before this video. Someone correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. If you test positive for the coronavirus 2019 disease strand, whatever you want to call it, COVID-19, let's just go with that. We need to update that. You have to be asymptomatic, and if you are asymptomatic, then 10 days after you're asymptomatic, if you pass a test, you're off the list. If you are symptomatic, I think you have to, there's a buffer of like 3 days that's added to that. So it becomes like 2 weeks. That's as far as I know. As far as I know. Now, I wasn't great at math. Okay, I was. It's been 18 days since this man was placed on the COVID list. And by the way, we don't even know if he had COVID. I don't know if he had COVID or if he was exposed to someone that had COVID. We don't know. Now, the Isaiah Wilson incident, now that took place 2 weeks from Friday, tomorrow. Maybe they're waiting for that. If they are, it makes sense because they know he was out and about Friday night. I know that. I reported that on this channel. And he was exposed again. So he has to stay on the list for at least 10 days again, or maybe 2 weeks. Maybe they're being safe in doing 2 weeks. The rule only said 10 days for the NFL. Even for the NBA, the rule only said 10 days. Lou Williams, remember Lou Williams going down to get wings? He had to wait 10 days. All right, 10 days for hot wings in a strip club in Atlanta. Okay, Isaiah Wilson had a couple margaritas at Chewy's, and he has to be on the COVID list for 18 days. I don't know. It's interesting, but we still haven't seen any official recourse for Isaiah Wilson in his DUI. So this may be the punishment. A suspension likely won't come until next year for him, but he's still on the team. So you Isaiah Wilson stands, you Isaiah Wilson fans, you Isaiah Wilson supporters, he's still on the team. So congrats. But he's still on the COVID list, so what's up? We're going to monitor this next week if he's still on the list. So with that said, let's move on to those Minnesota Vikings. Now, people, I am concerned about this football game. Here's why. I told everyone on this channel that the Minnesota Vikings are going to go 7-9 in 2020. This was a low prediction for the Minnesota Vikings, and I said this for several reasons. I saw the pieces they lost defensively. No more Everson Griffin, no more Trey Waynes, no more Xavier Rhodes, no more Mackenzie Alexander. I said, no, you can't lose all those defensive weapons, not replace them appropriately, and expect to still have a strong defense in this league. You also can't trade away Stephon Diggs and expect, okay, let's trust this first-round pick we have to come in and do a great job for us right off of the bat. Right? They drafted Justin Jefferson, who looked okay last week, and Jeff Gladney, however you pronounce his name, out of TCU, that cornerback who currently stinks. That's the trade-off that they made. Now, eventually, Gladney might be good, Jefferson might be good, and the trade might be worth it. But in the interim, of course, the Vikings are a worse team this year than they were last year. I don't know why no one saw this coming. I don't know why this wasn't clear. Now, with that said, they're awful. The week 1 game made sense. Okay, they still put up 34 points. They let up 43, which is a lot. It made sense to me. Last week did not make sense. Sense was not being made last week when they lost 28-11 to those Indianapolis Colts. The old man, Phillip Rivers, still throwing the ball the way he throws the ball with his sidearm. It didn't make sense. And Kirk Cousins being that bad. And look, you can be a Kirk Cousins hater. I'm sure there's Kirk Cousins haters, and that's fine. He was very strong to end last season. Ended up with one of the higher pass ratings in the league. Led the Vikings to a strong end to the regular season. He was very strong at the end of last season. You can't deny this. For him to be 11 of 26, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, like 119 yards, something like that, against the Colts defense, which has talent. Okay, like there's this guy, there's that guy, there's Darius Leonard. They just traded for DeForest Buckner, who had a great game last week. But that's not an elite defense. It's a budding defense. It's an improving defense. It's a young defense. This is not a particularly scary defense that they have in Indianapolis, especially with no fans last week. Why were they that awful? They should have been that awful. So I went to the tape. Like Ron Jaworski. And they were pretty awful. As the offensive chemistry wasn't there, they don't know how to run the football. They're not committed to running the football. Dalvin Cook is actually running over 4.3 yards per carry. They don't care. They're just insisting on throwing the rock, despite having Adam Thielen, who's very good, maybe even great. I'll let some people say great. And Olabisi Johnson and our boy, Tajay Sharp, who guess how many balls he's caught this season? The same as me. Okay, 0. Okay, Tajay Sharp has got 0 balls, and he expected a bigger role in Minnesota. How's that working out for you? And the first round pick, Justin Jefferson at LSU, showed some signs last week, but the chemistry is still not there. So right now, their offensive chemistry, it's non-existent. They don't have it. It's not flowing. It's not going right now. Can they find it this week before facing us? That's the question, okay? They're not going to probably explode offensively, but could they catch us by surprise? Absolutely. Because these clowns in Minnesota, I don't know why they don't like running the rock. They're obsessed with throwing the rock. Run the rock with Dalvin Cook. First of all, you know he's not going to be healthy for 16 weeks. You might as well take advantage of the 7-8 weeks he's healthy and run him now rather than later, okay? That's just me. Or maybe they're trying to do some load management with him. I don't get it. So, these clowns in Minnesota don't want to run the ball. Fantastic. Let's get into the tighten up keys to the game, and let's discuss how we can beat these struggling Minnesota Vikings. Number one, let's keep Ryan Tannehill in rhythm. This man has 6 touchdowns and 0 interceptions on the season. Yet again, a completion percentage over 70%. Yet again, giving us MVP level production. Let's keep up that level of production from Ryan Tannehill. We haven't thrown many passing yards yet. Like, I think we had 249 passing yards week 1. 239 passing yards week 2. That's fine. That's our move. We're efficient in throwing the football. My thing is, let's remain efficient in throwing the football. Let's get our new boy, okay? Our new boy who I used to hate on so much, but he's doing so well, Jonnu. Let's get Jonnu Smith, a screen passer too. Let's keep Corey Davis involved in catching the rock. Let's keep that up this upcoming game. And by the way, I forgot to do injury report. We'll do that after this. Tighten up key number 2. Can we get a pass rush, please? Pretty please. Why is that so much to ask? Why can we not get a pass rush in Tennessee? This is something we haven't had in years. I think over a decade, if we're being honest. Like, it was decent in maybe 2017, 18. It was decent in 2013 with Arakpo and Derek Morgan. It was decent. We thought it was going to be good with Cameron Wembley. Remember that throwback? How about a name right there? It hasn't been good. It hasn't been particularly impressive. And even that one year, we may have finished let's say 10th in sacks. It was roughly 10th in sacks. It was because we had Logan Ryan having 5 sacks. We were having Jayon Brown having 5 sacks, and they're not doing anything right now. Our front sucks. Jack Crawford has a sack, and I think Kenny Vaccaro has the other sack. What is Harold Ledger doing? Jadeveon Clowney, what is he doing? What is Jeffrey Simmons? Look, he's never going to be a big sack guy, Jeffrey Simmons. That's just not his move. But still, can you give me 5, 6 on the season, please? You do. This isn't good enough. And we faced Gardner Minshew and that horrible Jacksonville Jaguars offensive line. The Vikings offensive line is also not particularly good. They let up 3 sacks in one game this season, 2 sacks in the other. We can get after them. Can we just get it rolling? Because we have the Steelers soon, we have the Bills soon, we have the Texans soon. Those are the next 3 games. We need to get this pass rush going, people, especially with these cornerbacks. Can we get a pass rush? Pretty please. And then, hello, wake up Jayon Brown and Rashaan Evans, okay? Knock on their door. Hello, time to wake up. The alarm is going off here. These 2 men are not showing up in the run game. That's why, I looked at the tape. And you'll see. You will definitely see Jack Crawford struggling against the run. You'll definitely see Daquan Jones missing a hole. You'll definitely see Matt Dickerson missing a hole. But on the second level, these 2 men are not doing their duties. They need to be stepping up. And Rashaan Evans, obviously, he missed, the game, most of the game week 1 because he, tried to punch that Denver Broncos player, got ejected. Fine. He struggled last game. Jayon Brown's been struggling in the run game. I need to see improvement from these 2 men. These 2 men, at this point, we expected them to potentially ascend to Pro Bowl level, giving us anything but right now when it comes to the run defense. Because if we can limit their run game, okay, just right off the bat, they're going to start being pass happy. Boom. Okay, and then from there, can we guard BC Johnson? Can we guard Tajay Sharp? Oh, yes, I think we can. I think we'll be all right. Okay, I think Christian Fulton, he's been guarding Justin Jefferson at LSU. I think he can guard Justin Jefferson. That's what I believe. So limit the run game. Force Kirk Cousins, who's low in confidence, to throw the rock. Get this pass rush going. Keep Tannehill in rhythm. Those are the tighten up keys to the game. So real quick, I forgot to do injury report, but let's go ahead and do it now. We'll quickly do it. I'm not expecting A.J. Brown for this game. I'm not expecting Vic Beasley for this game. A.J. Brown missed Thursday's practice, as did Vic Beasley. Oh no, Vic Beasley actually was a full participant. But I am skeptical. Actually, you know what, never mind. Full participant. Okay, I think he'll play. I don't know if he's going to play a significant amount, but okay, I believe it. Okay, he'll play. Probably. Don't hold me to that. Darrington Evans, how about that though? Full participation. Can we finally see a change up in the run game? I know we had the Lil Derrick Henry last week in Sonoris Perry, right? Lil Derrick Henry is what I like to call him. So hopefully we get Darrington Evans out there to help with this run game that right now looks a little stagnant, with only Derrick Henry being the threat out of the backfield. Malcolm Butler had limited participation on Thursday, as did Chris Jackson. Man, we cannot afford to have Malcolm Butler out right now. I mean, I haven't been particularly impressed with him this season, but I mean, that would just put us in the real rabbit hole after that, or behind the 8 ball, I should say, without having Malcolm Butler out on the field with no Adoree Jackson now, no Malcolm Butler, relying on rookie Fulton, rookie Jackson, and old man Jonathan Joseph, who, look at this, was out on Thursday. Definitely don't want that. But you look at the Minnesota Vikings aspect of things. First of all, it's not listed here. Anthony Barr, one of their better linebackers, he's out for the season. He tore his pectoral muscle. Great news for us. Cornerback Mike Hughes did not practice either Wednesday or Thursday. This is good news. This is the best cornerback that they have right now. And all their cornerbacks stink, okay? Make no doubt about it. And that's the best one of the stinkage. So I like seeing that. Everything else here is pretty irrelevant, so that's all we really need to look at there. So with that said, we will see what happens on Sunday, of course. Your boy will be live after the game, roughly 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern, to discuss what will hopefully be the Tennessee Titans' 3rd victory of the season. So with that said, that's going to do it for me, MJ. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, I just said that. Until next time, I'm out. See you all later. Oh, God.